In the middle of the Philippines' Vigan city lies Calle Crisologo, the city's main street and historic center. Its significance can be seen in its part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site Historic City of Vigan, Asia's finest example of a planned and well-preserved Spanish colonial town. Since the pre-colonial times, Vigan has been a valued trading coast used by the Chinese and other Asian kingdoms. And in the 1500s, the Spaniards saw its potential and designed the city according to the Law of the Indies, resulting in a unique fusion of cultures between the Philippines, China, Mexico, and other European countries. The streets in the city, including Calle Crisologo, consist of two-story structures derived from the traditional Filipino dwelling Bahay na Bato, combined with steeply pitched roofing reminiscent of the Chinese architecture. The ground floor was used for trading, while the second floor was used as a living quarters, resembling the trading lifestyle of the Chinese merchants. This type of house is now commonly known as a shop house. Today, the structures still have their original design and building uses. However, despite Vigan being the center of trade in the entire northern Philippines, the trading lifestyle no longer matches the needs of our generations. Due to the town's economic decline and political instability since World War II, many of the houses were abandoned and left to decay. Calle Crisologo is the most intact remnant of the city's history. To conserve the city's heritage, the locals established the 1995 Conservation Plan with heritage tourism as its main approach. It has been listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and applauded for its sustainability management. But after almost 3 decades since the conservation initiative, is Calle Crisologo still being conserved well?
Growing interest in the street's conservation, we, Rylan Ang, William Medestomas, Audrey C., and Jeric, 4 architecture students chose Calle Crisologo as the site for our architectural heritage study. With that said, this study aims to 1. Study the relationship between Calle Crisologo, its heritage values, and the local community. 2. Assess the heritage management of Calle Crisologo and its structures. 3. Suggest treatments and management techniques. And 4. Develop an adaptive reuse framework for the new uses of the heritage houses. Following the city's conservation plan, we intend to enhance the street's tourism, empower the local community, and incorporate the needs of today's society while conserving its heritage values. Before we proceed, it must be noted that the scope of Calle Crisologo we analyzed is only the 420 meters cobblestone path, starting from the corner of Liberation Boulevard up to Florentino Street, which bears the majority of the street's tourism industry. This study was constructed mainly on online resources due to the limitations of the COVID-19 pandemic. To assure that the study is of relevant information, we interviewed Ms. Joanne Gutierrez, the current Senior Tourism Operations Head of Vigan, and conducted a social survey to gather both the perspectives of the local community and the public on Calle Crisologo's heritage values and management, and help with the decisions for our proposed interventions.
First, we produce a cultural mapping report based on previous studies, the social survey, and the interview, which identifies the different cultural heritage in Calle Crisologo. This plays a critical role in determining the site's local distinctiveness and guides us into what we need to conserve. We determined 5 categories, which are the ancestral houses, cultural institutions, traditional handicrafts, festivals, and the local cuisine. The well-known ancestral houses on Calle Crisologo are the Leona Florentina House and Museo Balay Mestizo. 2 of the city's cultural institutions, the offices, are also on the street. Then we have the traditional handicrafts such as the Abel loom weaving and Burnay jars making. And of course, the city's festival and local cuisine. Now that we have established the cultural mapping of Calle Crisologo, we can assess its heritage management. Calle Crisologo is managed by the Vigan Heritage Management Office, who monitors the site's state of conservation and development plan. With the help of the organizations of the city, many ordinances and guidelines have been inaugurated.
However, just like anything else, there is a gap in heritage management. Let's start with Calle Crisologo Streetscape. In this discussion, we will also be presenting our own interventions. Number 1, small street signs. If you've been to Calle Crisologo, you will notice that the street signs are small and placed on the buildings, which may not be that visible and may confuse people. To make the street signs more familiar to modern society, we propose to change the street signs into street posts. Number 2, passing vehicles. As the main tourist destination in Vigan, Calle Crisologo should be safe for pedestrians to walk around. Currently, there are cars and other vehicles passing on the streets, which also add to the vibration of the ground and affects the structure of the ancestral houses. Thus, we propose to add street bollards to make the street more pedestrian friendly and prohibit vehicles to pass through the streets, only allowing calesas as they are part of Vigan's heritage. Number 3, random potted plants. On Calle Crisologo, there are also many individual potted plants. To make the street more organized, we propose uniform plants boxes spread evenly on the streets.
Number 4, random benches.
Random benches can also be seen, but they have a small seating capacity and have thick roof that makes the seating area dark and unwelcoming. A new bench design that is more welcoming could be deemed better. Other intervention we would like to propose are street plaques to attract people and provide information on the streets, and trash bins to lessen the street waste. All these 6 issues were noticed by the majority of our surveyed participants, and the intervention accumulated almost 100% support. We would like to collaborate with the local craftsmen to come up with the final design for this proposal to engage and empower the local community.
The restoration of the ancestral houses is the main motive of the conservation program. Over time, building deterioration occurs and thus calls for the need of maintenance. In partnership with UNESCO Bangkok, the Homeowners Manual was developed. The Save Vigan Ancestral Homeowners Association was also founded to encourage homeowners and various stakeholders to actively participate in the conservation. However, there's a catch. The city government can't provide funds to the homeowners or force them to restore the houses. The homeowners are the ones to decide if the house will be restored or not. According to Ms. Joanne from our interview, this adds to the reason why most houses are left degrading. So, what are the common material deterioration observed from these ancestral houses? Number 1, flaking plaster. Number 2, wood decay. Number 3, brick erosion. Number 4, steel corrosion. The primary cause of this deterioration is weather changes such as intense heat and typhoons, as well as humidity from nearby bodies of water. The buildings that have the most deterioration are those near Liberation Boulevard, which could possibly mean that the ground vibration caused by passing vehicles may have added to further deterioration. Additionally, we noticed that this part of Calle Crisologo has less activity, which means that they might have been neglected by the homeowners. In agreement with Ms. Joanne, some structures are in poor state and in urgent need of maintenance. Other building issues include decayed windows, uncontrollable vegetation growth, exposed air conditioning, exposed electrical wiring, and low interior lighting, to which our survey participants stated hinders one's full immersion into the city's heritage.
For the treatment recommendations of these building issues, we divided them into short, mid, and long-term aims. The short-term recommendations are inclined towards easy and immediate actions in restoring structures that are visually deteriorated, such as wall plastering, brick replacement, and wood coating. The midterm recommendations focus on wood and steel treatment. Because wood is more susceptible to decay as compared to other materials, replacement of decayed wood is advised. On the other hand, metal coating is suggested for steel corrosion. Lastly, the long-term recommendations are oriented towards improving vehicular ordinances and adaptive reuse programs. Even though there is a present city traffic ordinance, it is highly recommended that a stricter rule be implemented to reduce ground vibration. Furthermore, because many structures are neglected and unmaintained, it is more feasible to turn the ground floors into commercial uses that will not only provide economic value but also aid in the tourism of Calle Crisologo.
For our adaptive reuse framework, first we should redesign the non-heritage homes to match the Hispanic Chinese architecture. Now that that's done, here are the current uses of the buildings. As you can see, the majority of the existing establishments on Calle Crisologo are souvenir shops and restaurants. There is only one heritage house, museum, and a few handicraft stores. Establishments unrelated to the city's heritage are accepted. However, it will be better to change some uses into something that would attract tourists. Sari-sari stores can be upgraded into more aesthetically pleasing establishments, while the corporate offices can be moved to a different location. With that said, putting up modern retail stores is encouraged and also advised by Miss Joanne for the city to adapt to modern society. But then again, the homeowners are the ones who decide. The government can only encourage change. Still, we want to prioritize the promotion of the city's history, traditional handicrafts, and people. The Heritage House museums and handicraft stores are the two establishments that Calle Crisologo lacks the most according to our survey participants. One participant also suggested including more engaging attractions. As such, we want to integrate VR attractions in the Heritage House museums and encourage people to walk around in traditional Philippine costumes. The handicraft stores, instead of just selling their products, can offer workshops taught by the local craftsmen themselves. Tour guides and audio tours can also be provided for tourists. Moreover, with the proposed street bollards, people can safely dine at al fresco at any time of the day. This will also make the street livelier and more attractive to the travelers.
Now, a showcase of our streetscape. Enjoy.
And that's all for the summary of our study entitled Adaptive Reuse and Heritage Management Study of Calle Crisologo, the historic city of Vigan. Thank you for watching.